everyone, it's Jennifer again. How are you? I apologize if you were just watching my live video because I talked for 10 minutes and then my internet connection stopped. So I was like, no, but here I am, and I am actually going to start all over because I want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to hear about this really, really important topic. I'm excited about our Facebook page. We have over 700 people right now liking our page, and I'm so excited about it. So what I want to talk about today, which I was talking about, are beliefs that we have that are one of the biggest obstacles to our happiness. And they are called limiting beliefs. And limiting beliefs are beliefs that we have that oftentimes we created when we were really, really young, sometimes maybe 4 or 5 years old, maybe when we were teenagers, really any time in our lives. And what happens is that we have these thoughts, and we think these thoughts enough that we actually start to believe them to be true. And then what happens is that our thoughts create our lives. Our thoughts create our experience of the world. What we think about is what shows up. Okay, that has been shown over and over and over again in so many different ways. And you may have even experienced that, like all of a sudden you're thinking about something, or somebody, say, just finds out that they're gonna have a baby, and then all of a sudden they're just seeing baby stuff everywhere, right? So our thoughts create our experience of life. So then we have evidence that these beliefs, these thoughts that have now become beliefs, are true. And then what happens is you get a whole bunch of these beliefs and you clump them all together, and then that becomes our story, the story of who we are, of how we live our lives. Hi, Cynthia. How we live our lives, our experience of the world, how we think that other people are experiencing us. And that just becomes how it is. Like, I'm just X, Y, or Z, you know? And what happens is that these beliefs that are limiting, and we all have them. Nobody is exempt from this, unfortunately, because we're all human. And these beliefs stop us because we think that there are certain things we can't do, or certain things we can't achieve, or that people don't like us, or that we don't deserve either a good relationship or money or love or a beautiful house, or we have ideas about our physical health or the way we look, or our bodies, or whether or not we can get fit. The topics and the ideas of the types of limiting beliefs that we all have is endless. And they're all different, from you to me to the next person. They're all different, but they're really kind of different versions of the same thing. It could be about your education and what you can achieve. And I've heard people say, well, I'm just not good at school. Well, perhaps you're not. Like, our brains all work differently, but that doesn't mean you can't get educated. It just maybe means you can't get educated in a certain way, but you can still get educated in whatever you want to get educated about, right? Maybe the problem is you were only educated about stuff you didn't want to get educated about before. So whether it's relationships, your marriage or partnerships or friendships, or, you know, colleagues at work, whether it's your job, your profession, you know, how, and you know what you can achieve in that regard. If you are in the veterinary profession, maybe it's about, you know, whether or not you're good enough to be head technician, or whether or not you think you're a good doctor, or if you're a good practice manager, you know, or any other profession that you might be in. You know, what beliefs do you have that stop you? You know, I can't, or they won't, or I just, you know, everybody else can, but I, you know, fill in the blanks after that. Money, the category of money and finances is one of the biggest areas that people have huge limiting beliefs. Money is such a presence in our lives, and very frequently in our families growing up, there are ideas that are indoctrinated into us, you know, that even at a subconscious level, conversations that parents have or grandparents have around money, you know, there's never enough. If we have it, it'll be taken away. People who have money aren't good. Money is the root of all evil. What are some other ones? I don't deserve money. I'm guilty. You know, if I have money, I need to give it away. I feel guilty if I have money. I mean, the list can go on, and it's not important for me to tell you. It's what's there when you think about having an abundance of money. What shows up? There's got to be something. So think about it, because the first step in conquering or getting power over your limiting beliefs is figuring out what they are. When I drive down the road and I think about life and I have, you know, all the stuff that goes through my head, I'm constantly aware of recurring thoughts that I have that are not always nice. And I have a document in my phone that I voice to it when I'm not in a place where I can type. And I have such a list, and it's unbelievable. And they're often different versions of the same thing, but it's this and this and this and this, and it's like, wow, I read through that list and I'm like, yep, that's me. And I live inside of that. And I can see in so many areas where that might hold me back, right? So think about like what other areas might be your own personal growth and development, your own spirituality, whether it's inside of a standardized religion, whether it's just inside of your own spiritual work, whatever, you know, works for you. We're all different in that regard. Where are you limited in that? You know, have you ever tried meditating? You know, I've heard a lot of people say, well, I can't meditate because I can't quiet my mind. My mind races. Well, right. All of our minds race. That's why we meditate. You know, if we already had a quiet mind, we wouldn't need to meditate. You know, Buddha, Jesus, you know, all of those guys, they had quiet minds probably, just to at least a bigger extent than we do. But that's why we meditate. We meditate to get quiet because we're not. And the more we do it, it's like lifting weights. You know, you start with the 5-pound dumbbells, the next thing you know, you're curling 20s. It's the same thing. Next thing you know, you're quiet for longer until the thoughts come in and the thoughts you're able to push away. What about yoga? You know, I've had so many people that they look at people who do yoga and they think, oh my gosh, they look like they feel so good and it's so good for them. But I can't do yoga. I'm not flexible. I'm not good at it. And so they don't. Well, that's just a limiting belief. You know, you're only not good at it because you haven't done it. You don't do yoga because you're flexible. You do yoga to get flexible. And it's like anything in life. When you start out, you're not good. You know, how can you be good? Unless you're a prodigy child, you don't sit down at a piano the first day and bang out Mozart, right? But that's literally how we act like we should be, you know? So think, what I would encourage you to do is start by making a list and think about all the areas of life, you know, relationships, money, health, you know, fitness, your body, what you look like, your appearance, how you think you interact with others, education, you know, any area of your life that you think about. And it doesn't mean you have to have limiting beliefs in every area. Maybe you're hot and you know it and you're like, I've got that. Great. Good for you. But what about money? What about your friendships? So we all have them somewhere. We don't necessarily all have them everywhere. So I would encourage you to start and make lists. Write them down. And you might not be able to come up with them at first because you might not even realize they're there. But as you're going through life, when things pop in your head that hold you back or give you that feeling in your belly, that like icky feeling, so what's there? You know, you want to go say something and you don't. Why? Are you afraid people are going to be mad? Are you afraid people are going to laugh at you? Are you afraid people are going to not like you? Those are not all the same thing. What's there for you? Because the first step of anything is awareness. And you actually might be surprised at how many ideas and beliefs you have that you live by that are actually holding you back from achieving what you want. So then what I would suggest is that once you have a list, once you start to become aware and you go, wow, I really have a thing, because how can you make money when you believe you don't deserve it? How can you be in a healthy relationship when you're not worthy of love? You know, how can you be successful when you have this belief that you're stupid? Stupid people aren't successful, right? But you're not stupid. Like, none of these ideas are true. They're totally made up. So, and they're made up by you, which is the craziest thing. Like, why do we do this? Because we're humans and that's what we do, okay? So don't make them wrong. Don't make yourself wrong. Don't say, oh, I'm a failure because I have these limiting beliefs, or I suck, or no, we all have them. The thing to do is to say, okay, I have these limiting beliefs, these things in life that stop me from achieving anything that I want to achieve and making me happy. What if I didn't have them? Go to the what if. What would be available? What would be possible? You know, not that I'm suggesting you can snap your fingers and just make them go away. Boy, I wish it were that easy. But what would be available for you? What would be possible? The reality is, the answer to that question is anything. Anything you want would be available if you got out of your own way. Because our thoughts create our life. And as Wayne Dyer, he has a whole book titled Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. And you can Google that, you can read about it. It's so well known that our thoughts create our existence, our experience, right? So what if we can get rid of these limiting thoughts? What could we do? What if you totally had no issues around making millions of dollars? Guess what? You could make millions of dollars, right? So start to think about and allow yourself to consider, what if? What if I did not believe X about myself? And really allow yourself to go there, okay? And then what would be a belief? If I didn't have that belief, what belief might I have instead that is more empowering and more positive? So if I didn't believe that I didn't deserve to be loved, then I might believe that I'm fully worthy of all of the love in the world from everyone. That's no less true. It could be equally as false or equally as true as I'm not worthy of love. You know, I'm ugly and no one will like me. Okay, well, I'm beautiful and people love to look at me. One of those is not any more true than the other. It's only as true as what you believe to be true. Because how many times do people say something about themselves and everybody else looks at them and says, what? You? You think people don't like you? What? You think you can't achieve? You're like one of the smartest people I know. Like, how many times do people experience that? Constantly. Because the beliefs aren't true and other people don't see them and they don't see you that way. And so they look at you like you're crazy. So I would suggest to you that if you made up the first ones, you can just make up new ones that are more empowering, and believe them and say them every day and write them down and post them on your refrigerator and have alerts that go off in your phone. Have an alert that goes off in your phone every day that says, and my dog is totally agreeing with everything I'm saying. Have an alert in your phone that goes off and says, I am fully worthy of love. I am capable of creating anything I want in life. And every day, ding, and you look, or on your watch or whatever you have, your devices, and it starts to say it, believe it, repeat it. It's like building a muscle, and it's, you know, over time, these beliefs are not going to completely go away. Okay, and that's the one thing that I believe. You know, I don't know if this is a fact, but I'm gonna shut my window. Sorry, my dog has a lot to say about this. So I don't believe that, I mean, maybe it's possible for some of these over time to just really become almost non-existent for you, but the way I look at these ideas is that it's kind of like a lens that you're seeing yourself through, that you're looking through life. Your story of like, for me, Jennifer is, and clump together a bucket full of beliefs, positive and negative, right? So if you look at the negative ones, and I'm trying to be successful in, I don't know, I'm going to make something up in business, but I have a belief that I'm not smart enough to be successful in business. And so here I am going through life with, I'm not smart enough to be successful in business. and I'm trying to be successful. Once I'm aware, then I'm at a place of choice, and I can say, no, thank you, but no. And guess what? It comes back because it's a habit. These beliefs actually become a habit, and they actually become a comfort zone, even though they make us feel like crap. Okay? So saying, no, I am smart enough to be successful in business, it can be actually like, ooh, like uncomfortable. Like, ooh, I'm not used to thinking that. Who am I to think that? Right? Even though the person next to me might feel that way about themselves, they have a different limiting belief. So it comes back. But little by little, as you pry these limiting beliefs out from in front of your face, they don't go away, but maybe they sit over here and they come back. And sometimes you're not in the mood and you just want to wallow. I'm not smart enough. Okay. And when you're done feeling bad, you go, you know what? No. But over time, just like working out, just like practicing anything, they stay over here longer. They come less frequently. They stay in front of your face shorter. And you have a choice over whether or not they run your life, whether or not they dictate how you live and what you do and what you accomplish. But it takes a decision and it takes work, and sometimes it's scary. It's really scary. Because, like I said, we have comfort in that. You know, there's safety in I'm not smart enough. There's safety in I'm not lovable, so I'm not even going to try, because guess what? Then I don't get in a relationship where I'm going to get hurt. You know, there's safety in, you know, I'm just fat and out of shape and unhealthy and there's nothing I could do about it. And you know, because you don't have to worry about failing. It takes something to get out there and try to improve an area of life that you want to improve. But it gets you where you want to be, and it makes you happy. You know, nobody said happiness was easy. It's work, but it's available for everybody equally. Just have to be aware of what's making us not happy. And after we're done wallowing in it, because we do, and I go down my little rabbit hole and I spiral in there for a while until I'm done feeling like crap. And then I say, okay, enough. What is this that I'm doing? What am I believing? What are these stories I'm living by that are making me feel awful? So once you have your list and once you create opposite ideas, I would read about it. You know, Google different books. You know, Tony Robbins, Wayne Dyer, I may have mentioned that already. They have books about this. Just Google books on limiting beliefs, online programs, your spiritual teachings, whatever those may be for you, if you have them. Meditation, huge in quieting the mind of all these stories. These stories that we tell ourselves all day long that are just simply not true, that we live into. But meditating can quiet the mind. It can take all of it and just kind of go, oh, you know, and clear, like, you know, clear the glass that we're looking through so that we can see the reality. You can see the reality of your beauty. You can see the reality of your intelligence. You can see the reality of the amazing, lovable, incredible person you are, because we all are. You know, we're all just made of love. You know, from whether you're looking at Christian teachings or just spirituality or energetics or Buddhism, I don't care what, you know, belief system that guides your life, the fundamental of it all is the same. Like, we are all love and we are all light and we're all perfect. We just don't know it. We forgot it because our minds have created all this garbage that makes us miserable. So those are some ideas that I would recommend if you've had trauma that's not making you happy, trauma that has made you, you know, from when you were younger or whatever in your past. People experience abuse and rape and loss of loved ones, and okay, it's awful. And what did you make up about yourself in that moment? Maybe some therapy. You know, maybe somebody who can help you work through the, you know, the person who, you know, when they were young, they were a victim of abuse. And so they decided that they didn't deserve happiness, or they decided that they can't trust anybody. And that's an understandable thing as a kid to decide. but that's not necessarily true, and it doesn't serve you anymore. So there are people who can help you. You know, obviously I'm not in this video gonna help you with that, but there are so many tools and people and books and online programs and things out there that you can do to empower yourself into seeing clearly the amazingness that you are in every way, and stop holding yourself back. So that's about it. You know, as I was thinking about what I was going to say today, the idea came to me that conquering limiting beliefs opens the gateway to happiness. You know, maybe I'll just post that on my page. It just is what came to my mind, because it really does. Imagine like unlocking the door and to this beautiful, amazing, whatever it would look like for you. Is it a beautiful garden? Is it a prairie? Is it a mountain? Is it an ocean? Whatever is the most beautiful thing for you. Imagine getting rid of the limiting beliefs is like turning that key and opening those gates so you can create anything for yourself, because you deserve it and because you're amazing. So I wish you all happiness. I wish you all success. And please comment below if you have things you want to share. And always, please message me or comment on the page if there are things that you personally want to hear about, because I am happy to talk about almost anything. I don't talk about politics. I don't think any of us want to talk about politics. So have a great night, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.